Welcome to Body+Soul TV. Today we're talking about mental health, or as our guest today likes to call it, mental fitness. It's the question that many of us have had to grapple with. What if someone in my circle, in my family, is considering taking their own life? What do I do? Our guest today is media personality Gus Worland, who founded the Gotcha for Life Foundation, working in the area of suicide prevention. As someone that works in suicide prevention, what's your advice if you think someone in your family or your social circle is struggling?
The most important thing, Sarah, is just to go for it. You know, we're not sort of going to pussyfoot around anymore, because pussyfooting around or sort of, I'm not quite sure if I should go there, that's got us to the situation we are now. So we need to do something different to get a different result. So for me, put on the big boy pants and a big breath and make it safe. Normally go on a walk, or if you're driving, so you're not necessarily having that eye-to-eye contact, and just start the conversation with, I love you, I care for you, and I feel like things aren't quite right for you at the moment, can we talk about it? And when they say, I'm fine, no, which happens more often than not, you need to double down and go, I really do believe that we should talk about this. This is what I've noticed in your behaviour. This is what I've noticed in that thing the other day. Whatever it might be, ask the second, third and fourth question. Just keep going. You have to turn into a little bit of a detective, because if you don't do that, then you might end up letting them off the hook and allow them to just keep worrying alone again. And worrying alone is the worst thing you can let someone do.
That advice about talking to someone in the car is so great with kids. I think most parents relate. There's something about the eye contact, as you talk about. Is there an age, is it ever too early as a parent to have this conversation with your child?
I think it is a little bit too early if they're sort of 6, 7, 8. But I think, again, it's just kit gloves. It's with care. It's building a safe environment to have that conversation. And if you do it in a way that they just know that it's all right to be vulnerable, that will allow them to come to you perhaps a little bit later when they're a bit older. A lot of parents puff the chest out, put the mask on and make out that everything's awesome when it isn't. So it's a time for mums and dads to change up the way that they come across to their kids. It makes the kids look at them and go, oh, I can talk to mum and dad about that, because they haven't got all the answers, they're not perfect.
Speaking of that, Gus, you founded the Gotcha for Life Foundation when a very dear friend of yours, and in fact a father figure, took his own life. You've explained in the past this was someone that seemed to have it all, and then it transpired that he was actually privately struggling with a lot of things. Can you just tell me a little bit about that? Yeah,
he was literally, like, for me, like a superhero without a cape. He was just the most beautiful man, good looking, status inside and outside of work. He had 3 children, a beautiful wife, and he just seemed to have everything. He ticked every box, and on the day that his 3rd and final child finished the HSC, he took his own life that night. And it was like he had a big circle in the diary around that date saying, my job's done, all kids are educated, and I'm away. And 1,200 of us at the funeral a week later, just looking at each other, just saying, did you know? Did you know? Did you know? And no one had a clue. Right up until the time that he made that decision and he took his own life, no one had a clue that there was anything wrong with him. So for me, I'm trying to get that puzzle together, and the only thing I can possibly work out, Sarah, is that he was so good at fixing everyone else, he didn't want to show any vulnerability to anyone. And that, of course, is what I'm on now, is finding at least one person you can be vulnerable with. You don't have to burst into tears every 5 minutes or have a deep and meaningful conversation every time you talk, but just find someone that you can just take the mask off with and just be truthful with,
I imagine, Gus, in your work, you've seen a lot of people find that vulnerability and find that moment where they do feel they can open up to someone. How profound is it when someone does find the courage to speak up and share the problem?
Oh, it's the best. It's the best. And it happens straight away. It's all the thoughts that are in our head are much worse in your head without actually verbalizing. As soon as you start talking about it, firstly, you're getting someone to help you. They become part of your village to be able to help you move forward. But also you realise that everyone else is going through the similar thing. You're not the only one. So as soon as you verbalise it, you become part of a dysfunctional human society that we all are, and I wear that badge with honour. Like, we're throwing away perfect. That social media world is literally social media. That's not the truth. So the truth is dealing with stuff, dealing with human issues and emotions, and that's what we should be focusing on, not trying to make out that everything's awesome when it isn't.
And just finally, Gus, we are heading into the summer holidays, Christmas. It's been a really difficult couple of years for most people. What's your advice as people start to switch off and really looking ahead to the new year?
Yeah, remember they said 2021 is going to be awesome after 2020, and now we're at the end of 2021 saying, please, 2022 be good. But it seems like we've turned the corner. I mean, for me, Sarah, we have been isolated, haven't we, physically, but now we can take that away. But we've never been emotionally isolated. We can use technology to let people know that we love them. If anyone's watching this with us and goes, I just haven't got that emotional muscle to start that conversation, start it with technology. Send a text message. Let someone know that you are going through something and say, you're my person to help me through this. And if you get that type of text, step up to the plate. Don't take any relationships for granted. 2022 is a reconnection year. So for me, jump out of your comfort zone, get a little bit comfortable with being uncomfortable, do things slightly differently and get a deeper set of relationships around you, and then you'll never be alone. If you're not alone, then you'll be able to conquer whatever life throws at you.
A year of reconnection. I love
it.
that. Gus, thank you so much for your time. Lovely to talk.
It's a pleasure.
Thanks for watching Body and Soul TV. Click the subscribe button to make sure you never miss a video.